personal freedom comes at a price. Be wary of policy breakers in our midst.
Faith, are you there?
Had a run-in with Kruger, but I got something for it.
I'm taking her out.
What's coming, Faith? This city is changing, and not for the better. Unless, of course, we stop it.
You, on the ground, now!
Go on, girl. Save us all.
Hey everybody, I'm Rachel. Welcome back to E3. We just took a quick look there at Mirror's Edge Catalyst, and I'm with the senior producer Sarah, as well as Spamfish. We're going to talk a little bit more about this game. It looks beautiful. This game, well beloved, and now we're getting a closer look at Faith's backstory. What's it like for you to see the game this complete up here?
I'm still stoked every time I see it. I mean, I play it every day basically, and still, when I see the trailer, I'm just happy. I mean, I think it's beautiful. It plays so smoothly and fluidly, and I love it.
It does. That really comes across in the trailer. The fluidity and the sense of movement and spacing and everything. It looks so good.
I'm so glad you like it.
I was seriously impressed.
And we're taking a look at a combat system this time that we're completely throwing away projectiles, no guns. She's going to be up there fighting hand-to-hand combat, and I think we got a quick look at that in the trailer too. I mean, it's so satisfying. You hear those punch noises. What was the combat like and designing all that?
The combat, so we wanted to really take the approach where we have a no-guns approach to it. We wanted to make sure to integrate the combat into the fluidity of the movement, to make sure that it's like an extension of your movement. There's a lot of really cool things in there. It's very different from other games in the sense that when you often run away and hide when someone shoots at you, this is where you're actually just going straight towards the target. And as long as Faith is moving and combining moves together, stitching them together fluidly, and she's in flow, she's actually invulnerable to bullets. So keeping moving is always a good thing to do. If you stop, then you can get hurt. And we also encourage players to actually go up towards the enemy instead of going somewhere else. You can choose to run away, or you just run smack on and do a takedown.
Well, it's like it's the speed of video games. You can't stop the bus. But luckily, too, with Mirror's Edge Catalyst, we have a completely open world this time. There's no loading. There's no frames. I mean, how expansive is this world in terms of what she gets to run around and interact with?
So you get to explore a lot of the city, and through the story will play out through a critical path. And as you play through the critical path, you will unlock more and more of the City of Glass. And you will be able to explore the rooftops and the dark tunnels below the city and the huge skyscrapers. I think the tallest building in the game is something like 8,000 feet high.
Wow. I mean, that's one of the things from the first Mirror's Edge was that sense of movement and place. Having it as a big open world game with no loading screens, it's all thing. That's going to be an incredible experience for people, I imagine. Yeah,
fluidity is one of the keys to Mirror's Edge. So we really wanted to get that feeling of you're actually fluidly moving through the world, in and out of buildings. You don't have to stop for a loading screen or another level. It's just moving through the world and the city.
Yeah, because that kind of a load screen kind of end that suspension of disbelief, take you out even for a moment, and having no load screens, being completely in that world at all times, you're really going to want to take down these evil powers that you want to rise up against the machine, as it were.
Absolutely.
That's what we saw. The Kriegers, I believe they are. So we get actually closer look at the Mirror's Edge story here. A little bit different, I guess, take on her origin. We're going to see where she came from. What can you tell us about? I mean, we don't want any spoilers, but what can you tell us about what Faith is going to have to deal with in terms of herself and in terms of her enemies in the story?
Sure. So we see this as a rebirth. It's not a sequel or a prequel to the original story. We really wanted to make sure that Faith has character progression. When she starts the game, she's a different person than she is when she ends it. And as you experience this, you will run into some of the secrets of the city, and you will actually reveal some things that will trigger a series of events that changes the city around Faith forever. So you will actually get to feel these changes in the city as well. It will change as you progress through the story, and going from being a nice place to be to becoming a more harsh environment for the runners after Faith discovers this secret. So it's very exciting and dynamic and changes over time.
All right, and you said, I mean, you're a fan of the previous Mirror's Edge. So what are you looking for when you play this game as a Mirror's Edge fan?
Well, I think the first Mirror's Edge, is a real gamer's game. It's got the speedrunning community's really embraced it, and it's got the mechanics and the fluidity and that sense of movement and timing and propulsion is amazing. The thing that excites me is that I personally think Mirror's Edge didn't get the credit it deserved. It was very much kind of a niche game, and I really hope this gets the broad kind of appeal and the broad success that it deserves, because there's so few experiences like this Mirror's Edge game. The visual palette, the sense of timing and movement, and also any game where I get to take down evil oligarchical forces, evil power, I'm sign me up. So
so I think there is a lot of appeal both to the story and the character, and I think it has really the potential to reach a broader audience. And what we've been trying to do is we're still rewarding the really skilled players, and that timing is important, but we also created a lot of system that allows new players to get into it a little bit easier, both in how we pace out the moves over the story, but also that there are systems that actually helps you. If you just almost make that jump, you can actually grab onto the ledge.
Okay.
But you won't keep as much momentum as if you do it skillfully. So
there's that impetus to do it again and nail it and really get that rhythm.
Exactly. So we're really trying to make sure that if you're a new player, you can get through it. But if you're a skilled player, you'll be able to do it perfectly and on great time, and it will just feel fluid and great and amazing. So really trying to speak to those both audiences in a good way that doesn't make it feel less skillful for the really hardcore players.
The other thing that really excites me is the fact that, as you say, it's all open world, no loading screens, and you can go do some story for a bit and then go do some challenge modes, or go just explore and just just go and do some free running, go do some hardcore parkour, and just get out there and have some fun with it. And that for me is some of the funnest things in games, is not being tied to a mission, not being tied to a challenge. It's just exploring and having fun and enjoying the mechanic. And a game like Mirror's Edge, the mechanic is definitely robust enough, I think, to embrace that.
It sounds like you're going to love the game.
I am. I can't wait to play it. I have to wait for it, but it'll be worth the wait.
Well, what is a producer are you most proud of? Are you feeling like you innovated the most on, or you're bringing to the table that not a lot of games have achieved yet?
I think both our heroine Faith is very different. She really stands out. I think that the art style and the visuals is also something that just pops in a world of pretty gritty games, which is really cool, but it's just cool to have something that's different as well. And also the gameplay. I mean, it's very different, and I think that we want more diversity in gaming, right? We want more different types of experiences, and here we're getting it and setting, and I think that when we are providing that, I think more companies will probably dare to take that risk, because it is a bigger risk. It's not a given success, but it's got so much potential.
Well, you said you enjoy playing the game yourself, that you play a ton. What has been your most satisfying moment in your hands-on time with the game?
Well, I think it's just that feeling of fluidity when you get into the flow, and just what we talked about before, that you're just exploring the world, and then you go to a mission and you actually just enter a building, you go in and you have a very satisfying experience, and then you just flow out of it and go and do some optional content. And it's just we created a world that, with the art and the audio, which is also really important to Mirror's Edge. It's just, this is really hard to express, but someone told me, they met me in the kitchen, a dice over in Stockholm, and said,
User joined your channel.
I just spent 10 minutes doing nothing, because it's just so cool to be there and just this world and just run around and do nothing. And it's like, well, if it's fun to do nothing in this world, then it's going to be even awesome to do really cool shit. So.
Hell yes. Well, it sounds like Spamfish is already sold on the game. For everyone else there who wants to keep up and find out when this game comes out, what's your social media? Where can they find more information?
You can go to mirrorsedge.com. You can go to Mirror's Edge on both Twitter and on Facebook, and just follow us there, and you will get all the updates. The game is released in February next year. You can go and play it on E3 if you're here. There's a live demo and a BCD.
All right, well, that's wonderful. Some people here, I'm sure, raring to get their hands on Mirror's Edge Catalyst. For you guys at home, it's going to be a little bit longer, but you can keep up with Faith and with the game until February next year?
Yes.
February next year. Well, thank you so much, guys. Stay tuned for more E3.
Thank you very much.